everyone, this is Sha Nacino, and today I'd like to dedicate this video to all our HR professionals. In my profession as a speaker and a trainer, I had the privilege of speaking with HR professionals.
As leaders of organizations or companies, it's very important for us to be motivated.
If you are an HR professional, I admire you for your dedication and commitment in taking good care of your employees. You're in charge of making sure they get the right benefits, they get paid well, and then that they are engaged in the company. And because of that, I want to do something special for you. So if you are an HR professional, I'd like to give you a free online resource that you could use. And the main idea of this free online resource is to take care of the people who take care of their people, and that's you, HR professionals. I can't wait to serve you through this free online resource. God bless you.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Business Portal on the corporate world, and our next guest is going to help a lot of us with corporate planning for 2018. It's my pleasure to introduce to you famous author, corporate trainer, Miss Sha Nacino. Welcome to the show.
Hi Ren, I'm happy to be here, and hi to everyone who's watching.
Happy New Year. I know it's an exciting time, especially for you, as you help a lot of companies, employees, and HR professionals to really just jumpstart their planning for the year. And so before we talk about all these exciting things you have for everyone, tell us how you got into this financial planning, goal setting industry, and what made you stay.
Okay, so I was an employee for 9 years, and then after 9 years, I decided I wanted to pursue my passion in writing and public speaking. And so I put up my own company, and a lot of companies have been asking me, Sha, can you give talks for our employees, can you give talks on money management? And so that's what I do. I give talks on money management. And then later on, I also got interested in goal setting because I know that it really works. If you know how to set the goals, your goals the right way, it really works. And companies have also been inviting me to give talks on goal setting. And now I teach goal setting not just for companies, but also for individuals.
I see. And I know a lot of companies, they really do their strategic planning, maybe fourth or third quarter of each year.
Yes.
But then the hard work happens when they have to do the actual implementation come January of each year.
Right.
So what are some of your tips for companies who are really big in scale and also, of course, have a lot of downline employees that need to meet their respective goals individually, and then of course the corporate goal?
Okay, so I can give a few tips. Number one is that when you set goals, your goals should be grounded on the vision and mission of your company, right?
Okay.
The goals should be relevant. Okay. Next is the goals have to be clear. For example, from the head, like the CEO, and then regarding subordinates, the goals should be stated clearly to them. So the goals should be clear. And then next, you should write down your goals.
Write it down.
Write them down. There was a study done by David Cole. He's a professor emeritus at Virginia Tech.
Yes.
And he found out that 80% of Americans don't have goals.
Oh, really?
Okay, yes, and then 16% who have goals don't write them down. And then he found out that there were about 5% or less who have goals and who wrote down their goals. And from his study, he found out that those who have written down their goals were earning 9 times more than the 86% who have not written down their goals.
Wow.
So that's the power of goal setting and writing down your goals. And for big companies as well, for you to be able to achieve your goals, it's important also to have visual reminders of your goals.
Yes.
So for example, per department or per team, you can have goals board. So it's like a dream board, but it's the goals, pictures of your goals for that particular year. So it's very specific. It could be in terms of words and then numbers and then pictures, etc. And then next is, of course, during your team meetings, you need to talk about your goals, right? So you always have to be reminded about your goals,
Yes.
about where you are going. In my small company, this is also what we do. So every week when we have our meetings, we talk about 2 things, just 2 things.
2 things. What are those?
Number one is gratitude. So gratitude means your milestones for the past week. What did you do well for the past week, etc. Number 2 is goals. So what do we need to do this week?
That's a
So that's
really
it.
nice but practical tip for a lot of not just corporates but even small business owners.
Yes.
Because sometimes they handle a team and they just focus on, okay, what needs to be done. But you mentioned you talk about gratitude, and
Right.
perhaps that includes a lot of reflecting on what happened and how you can learn moving forward.
Yes.
And so, how has it been when you use this among your own employees?
You would see that they are very happy because first you talk about their big wins, right? Big wins for last week. Because when you are grateful, you focus on the blessings and you attract more of that.
I like that.
Yes.
Focus on you
The
become
blessings.
grateful, and then you attract all other blessings.
Yes.
That's
So
nice.
you give them a good feeling that they were able to, by talking about their blessings or gratitude last week, it gives them a boost or a good feeling that we can also do, we can make this happen, this week happen, the goals for this week happen.
Nice. And so when it comes to the actual implementation for a lot of HR professionals, they handle maybe more than 50 or 100 people. How do
Right.
you do that kind of inspiring for such a big group? How does it
Okay.
work?
I believe that for big companies, let's say they have a big group, let's say one department has 50 employees, right? But within that department, there are different team leaders.
Yes.
So among the team leaders, there has to be a way for you to check how are you doing this week. For example, it could be on a Wednesday or a Thursday, it could be a stand-up meeting. It's called huddle. It could be just a 5-minute huddle. You stand up in your fronting your goals board, and then
Nice.
just talk about, oh, how are we doing this week? Things like that.
So I think that's something
what
helpful.
help do you need? Sorry.
Doesn't have to be a long meeting.
Doesn't
it
have
can
to be a
as
long
short
meeting.
as 5 minutes, but very powerful impact.
Yes. In fact, long meetings are boring, and it's not only boring, but you are taking time away from the company because
Right.
maybe those meetings are already unproductive. So when you set your meeting, let's say for 15 minutes or 5 minutes, you know that you need to deliver your message within a specific time.
Yes.
So you carefully choose your words, you carefully prepare before the meeting.
I like that. I know that at the start of the year you had launched a surprise for HR professionals. And
Yes.
earlier we watched your video. So talk about that. What do you have in store for a lot of the HR professionals who are watching?
Right, so as a speaker and a corporate trainer, I had a chance to interact with so many HR people. And I could see that they are heroes in their organization because they are the go-to guys and gals of their of their
True.
employees, especially when they have problems, concerns, etc. So my question is, these HR professionals take care of their employees, but who takes care of them?
Yes.
Right? Where do they go to if they need inspiration or motivation, etc.? And being a learner that I am, I usually give talks, but I also learn a lot. I read books, I seek mentors, etc. I attend seminars. I wanted to inspire these HR professionals, and that's why I came up with this free online resource called the Philippines HR Newsletter. So it's a bi-monthly newsletter. It's highly motivational rather than
Nice.
technical. And it's really geared for HR professionals. So maybe for HR professionals who are watching right now, all you need to do is to email us at info@shanacino.com or just text us at 0915-622-9212.
Maybe you can repeat that again.
Yes, so that's 0915-622-9212. Just text your email address and then we'll send you the material.
I know that you have a lot of people you can definitely help, but you don't have the luxury of time to just go to any province or country that you can go to. But
Right.
thanks to your books,
Yes.
they can really reach you a bit better. So maybe you can talk about some of the books that you have with us today.
Okay, I brought two of my books. One of them is Money and Me. So this is a financial management book for young professionals. And I wrote this because I was once buried in credit card debts. But of course now I've already zeroed out my debts and now my finances are in order. So I want to help employees as well manage their finances better because I realized when I was an employee, if you have debts that you need to pay, if your finances are messy, you cannot focus in your work.
I agree.
And you are not productive. So I want to help these employees become more productive and worry not about money. And so that's why I wrote Money and Me. And when you write a book, it's like you talking to thousands of people one at a time through the book.
Yes.
So that's the story behind Money and Me. And Mission Happiness in the Workplace. This is really for millennials. There
We
is a
need that.
study, yes, there's a study done by Gallup, and they found out that the key word among millennials is purpose. Well, they don't really term the word purpose, but the reason why a lot of millennials jump jobs or they do hashtag travel goals, etc., is because they're trying to find meaning in their work. And if they cannot find meaning in their work, they resign and then they go to another job. So they job hop a lot. And this Mission Happiness will guide the millennials on how to find meaning in their work, in their life, by of course knowing what their purpose is, knowing what their passion is, by becoming grateful, etc. So this is the millennials' guide to a happy, inspired, and meaningful life. And right now, I would like to really credit the companies because now they really invest in their employees, because I could see that in the past years, these companies have been inviting me to give talks on mission happiness in the workplace.
That's amazing.
So how can you find happiness and meaning in what you do in the workplace? So that's why I really, the HR professionals have really a big place in my heart because of their dedication to their employees.
Which is why you're taking care of them as well with
Yes,
this free
through
newsletter.
the newsletter,
that you're giving.
Philippines HR newsletter.
I'd like to highlight what you said because a lot of my friends in the corporate world, they sometimes share their frustration that they cannot connect with some of the millennial employees that they have. But then I guess you more or less have the secret to it. You shared that a lot of the millennials today, they're really excited to work, but they have to know their purpose.
Yes,
And
right.
so that's
I'm a
very
millennial.
powerful.
You're a millennial, Ren?
Yes, I'm still part of it, thankfully.
Okay, so I'm a millennial, and I understand how millennials behave because I'm also a millennial. A lot of companies mistake that these millennials want more money, more salary, but it's not the case. What they want is they want to find meaning in what they're doing. They want to feel that they are important. What they do matter. So
Right.
it's not about the salary. It's about finding meaning in what they're doing. So
And
that's the secret.
Yeah, so to our viewers, if you're watching this and maybe you're working with some millennials and you're trying to figure out how best can I work with them, Sha shared a very powerful message, which is really just to help them get to know their purpose. And you'll see wonders in terms of their performance, right, Sha?
Right.
And so maybe you can share with us what are some of the challenges that you observe whenever people start with their goal planning and how do you overcome that?
Okay, so a lot of people have problems about believing in themselves. Do I really deserve this goal? Or maybe they're hesitant to make goals because in the past they tried to set goals and they were not able to
didn't
achieve it.
work, yeah.
So in other words, they don't believe in themselves and in their capacity to make their goals come true. Another problem is that along the way, life happens, they get busy, etc., and
Yes.
they don't really follow through on their goals. So those are two of the most problems that I got based from an informal survey that I conducted. And so to counter that, number one, you have to believe in your goals.
Yes, very, very important.
Yes. Number two is you have to have an accountability partner.
Oh,
Yes, it's important to have your accountability partner. Declare your goals with your accountability partner because when you declare your goals, there's a bit of a pressure from you to make those goals come true, right?
Yes.
So for example, when you tell someone, oh, I'm writing a book, you have to make that happen.
Yes, I know that.
Yes. And it's also very, very important to write down your goals because I read from the book of Jack Canfield that at any given time, our brain receives 11 million bits of information.
Wow,
11
really?
million, yes. But our brains are so wonderfully designed by God. We have our RAS or RAS, reticular activating system. What this does is that it filters the information. So it filters the information, it lets the important information in, and it takes away the information that we don't need.
Wow.
So when you write down your goals, you are training your RAS, hey, tag this as important. And so the opportunities that will help you make those goals come true, your subconscious will work on that.
And before you
in
know it,
attracting those opportunities.
your goals are closer than when you started.
Yes.
Wow.
And of course, Ren, since 2015, I've tried to write the formula for goal setting.
How was
And
it?
I realized that there is a formula to goal setting. So I did it in 2015 and then 2016, 2017, and it worked for me and for my
Wow.
friends too. And so that's why I have my latest program, which is called the Goal Setting Blueprint. So there is a formula. If you know me, Ren, I love formulas.
Yes.
There is a formula for writing a book, even if you're not a writer. There is a formula for being productive, and that's what the 90-day productivity planner is. And there is a formula for setting your goals. There is a
Nice.
formula for believing in your goals. Because I cannot just tell you, Ren, believe in your goals, right? But how? How do I believe in my goals?
Most of the time, that's what we hear. Just
Yes.
believe in your goals, it will happen. But,
Yes, but
of course, that's
how, right?
powerful, but you add your tools.
Yes.
And the productivity planner that you just shared is something that you also recently launched.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So this productivity planner is about focusing on the magic 3. So magic 3 means you cannot really have all the time to do everything. So the key is what are the top 3 things that you need to focus on a given day, and say no to everything else, because everything else is a distraction. Using the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, Ren, right? So 80% of what you do produces 20% of your income, of the bulk of your income, etc. So you need to focus on that 20% that you need to do that gives you 80% of your income.
Wow.
Okay, so using the productivity planner, you'll focus on the top 3 things that you need to do and say no to everything else.
So only 3. You just
3.
have to focus on 3 to
Yes.
get closer to your,
to your goals. And you apply what I call what I learned, which is the Pomodoro technique.
Wow, what is that technique?
Okay, so the Pomodoro technique, it allows you to work in short sprints and have regular breaks. So for example, let's say for your top 1 goal, right? You have your top 1 goal. What you do is you set your alarm for 20 minutes. And for the next 20 minutes, you just focus on working on that particular goal. So if there's a phone call, ignore it. If there's a message that you need to send, ignore it. For the next 20 minutes, just focus on that particular task. And once it's done, you set your alarm for 5 minutes. You take a break, you take a walk, you scroll Facebook, etc.
Yeah.
And after 5 minutes, you set it again for 20 minutes. And then focus single-handedly on that particular task for the next 20 minutes.
And then it becomes powerful.
Yes.
I think it's really teaching a lot of people how do you live in the present.
Right.
Because a lot of times, even I become victim to this. Sometimes I'm with someone, I'm with my friends, but then my mind is flying somewhere. So it
Yes.
doesn't really help the focus in the goal setting. But that one is very powerful.
Right. And also one thing that would really help is the morning routine. The morning routine is very important because the moment you wake up, what do? Maybe for some of us, we put off our alarm and then we scroll Facebook and then we check our emails,
Right,
etc.
right.
When you do that, you just allowed other people to dictate your schedule or your mood for the day. So you need to set your morning routine. So for example, maybe in the morning when you wake up, what do you do first? Maybe you want to thank God and smile and just inhale all the blessings.
Right.
And then write in your gratitude journal and then spend a few minutes reading something inspirational.
Nice.
Maybe use that for the first 30 minutes because the first 30 minutes of your day are so crucial.
Right.
So what do you do on those first 30 minutes? You also allot that for visualizing your dreams, etc.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing those. I think it will benefit not just the corporate world, but more importantly, a lot of the families,
Right.
mothers, daughters, fathers who are watching the show and just really having a hard time. How do they complete tasks? But in your case, you mentioned
It's all here.
productivity
the formula is
planner.
here. Yes.
Get 3 goals, focus on that really well. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Sha.
You're
we don't
welcome.
have much time anymore, but I'd like you perhaps to share what have been your greatest lesson in this journey, because your story is very inspiring. I know how you started, as you said, with just being in credit card debt, and then you
Right.
turned that around, and now you're an inspirational speaker for so many Filipinos and even OFWs.
Right.
So what are the lessons you'd like to share?
Okay, 3 things. Number 1 is the hunger to learn. Keep learning because there are so many things that can be learned. The more you know that you don't know.
Right.
And then related to that, be humble, stay humble. no matter how successful you'll get, always remember to keep your feet on the ground, because at the end of the day, it's not yours. It belongs to God, right?
Yes.
Keep the joy, but bring the glory back to God. So stay
Beautiful.
humble and don't think that, oh, I'm already here and you're there. No, each of us are equal. Everyone is equal. We just have different roles.
Yes.
And number three, which really helps, is gratitude. Always, always, always be grateful. In the morning when you wake up, think of the things you're grateful for. In the evening before you sleep, think of the things you are grateful for. According to my mentor, Brian Tracy, yes, and Brother Bo Sanchez, you cannot be grateful and sad at the same time. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. You cannot be grateful and frustrated at the same time. So, in effect, if you want to be happy, if you want to live a meaningful life, be grateful. And if you want to counter your anger, your sadness, etc., be grateful.
And we are so grateful for you, Sha. And so once again, please share your contact details for our viewers.
Yes, so for all the HR professionals who are watching right now, if you are interested to be part of the Philippines HR newsletter, just email us at info@shanacino.com. Again, that's info@shanacino.com. And for all the viewers, individuals who are viewing right now, I have a gift for you. It's a free ebook. It's called How to Make Your Dreams Come True.
Nice.
And it was a review by Brian Tracy. Just text your email address to 0915-622-9212. Again, that's 0915-622-9212.
Thank you so much, Sha, for inspiring so many people, and I really wish you all the best
Thank
in
you,
your
Ren.
endeavors. Stay being inspiring and stay grateful, as you said.
Thank
and
you.
to our viewers, we hope that you really learned so much from Sha in terms of how to set your goals, be clear about it, and just really enjoy the dreams that you've set for yourself. Once again, on behalf of my co-host, Mr. Howell Mabalot, this has been Renelyn Tan Castillejos. Thank you for watching the Business Portal on the Corporate World. See you again next week.